Well, both of them have amazing qualities. One thing that I think that stands out to me about both of them is their sense of humor.
Miss James has inspired me in many ways. She's taught me many things growing up since I've known her since I was little. The confidence she's had throughout the school and how she's not afraid to tell anybody what's up.
I think most recently the biggest lesson I've learned from these two guys is just perseverance. They've both gone through some tough losses in their family in the last several years, but all that being said, they were always here. They were the same folks every day and still here trying to serve the kids of Vidalia High School.
They're also very dedicated to what they do. They're loyal to VHS. They are enthusiastic. They're open to change. I can't think of anything else that you could hope for in teachers.
Something Phyllis has taught me, well, she's taught me a lot over these years. But I think one of the most important things she's taught me is how not to make chicken salad.
Something that inspires me about Miss James is just that she made me stick up for myself. I was written up for not being where I was supposed to be, and I was just mortified. I was doing something for softball, as it turned out, and she said, "No, you're going to write a rebuttal."
A life lesson Miss Phyllis always taught me was don't ever care what anybody thinks about you or what they're saying about you. Just do you and be yourself, and always work hard at what you're doing.
Life lesson that I have received from both of them actually is I know not to give up no matter what circumstances come up with me. 'Cause something happened with me in high school at 16 and neither one of them gave up on me. So in life, I know I pass that on to other people.
When we were in the old high school, there was a fight in the lunchroom, and Miss James felt like she could break it up. And in the process, she got punched and knocked out. And I think she learned her lesson then not to break up any more fights.
But my favorite memories with Jan, although there really are way, way, way too many to count, would come from the time we traveled to Spain together in 2013. Remember loading everyone in the taxis only to realize that neither of us got into the taxi with Nora?
The thing that I remember most about you two is your attitude, because you were always so friendly, so full of energy, so into what you were doing and teaching the students, and you never griped and you never grumbled.
But one specific memory I have with Miss Barfield is when I was in hospital homebound, and she just made herself at home every time she came, and she tried to help her best with me, even with science and math when it was out of her comfort zone. And we just sat on the couch and laughed and had snacks together, and she made it really fun for me.
For those of you that don't know, for many years, Miss Barfield and Miss James organized and ran graduation, and it was a well-oiled machine, and as soft as they could be when it was time. Graduation wasn't that time. Those kids were scared to death to step out of line, and always performed well, and they put a lot of time and effort into that.
One of my favorite memories of Miss Barfield is from the old school, and sometimes the bells when they wouldn't work. We always could rely on Jan to whistle, and it is the most piercing whistle you could hear in those hallways.
I don't know if they'd want me to tell this, but I think I will. Charged with some things that they may or may not have done. And the one that stands out in my mind the most, a former principal was very picky, extremely picky, about our wearing pantyhose. He wanted all teachers to wear pantyhose. One day he walked into his office, and his office was hung with pantyhose all over the place. And whether or not they did it or not, it was the rumor.
Ladies, I believe the legacy that you're leaving to VHS is the representation of the spirit of Vidalia High School and everything that it represents. You have been great for Vidalia High School, and she will miss you.
You know, for those of us of a certain age, Miss Barfield and Miss James are inextricably linked together. Now, you can't say one name without saying the other, and that's a testament to your characters and to who you are and the love that you've instilled in so many people. And I think that's the legacy you'll leave at VHS.
There's almost a generation of folks out there that have had an opportunity to either have them as teachers or get to know them in the school, and I'd be willing to bet the majority have very high regard as it pertains to Miss Barfield and Miss James.
What do I admire about these two ladies? I admire that they are both straight shooters. When you ask them a question, they are going to tell you what they're thinking. And this has really taught me a lot about who they are as women, and also who I wanted to be when I first started teaching, who I wanted to be as a teacher.
I think the students coming forward are gonna miss that motherly, teacherly spirit that they had for all of their students.
I hope they go away knowing what an impact they've had.
Phyllis's ideal retirement will be spending as much quality time as possible with her dad and her grandbabies. I mean, obviously, the rest of her family too, but we all know who the priorities are.
I mean, there's all kinds of funny stories about her through the years that probably don't need to go on camera.
I wish them both a good retirement, a happy retirement. They have taught longer than anybody I know of.
Miss James and Miss Barfield both were that no matter what kind of mood you were in, if you ran into them at some point during the day in the building, they were going to make you laugh. They were going to have some kind of anecdote or some kind of story.
All right, ladies, just because y'all are retiring, just know that I'm still going to aggravate you. I still will be at your house. I still will be seeking advice. Miss James, I still want you to make cakes and babysit. Nah, just kidding. But y'all have an awesome retirement. I love y'all. You guys deserve this. And I appreciate everything that y'all have done for me and taught me.
In closing, let me say this, Phyllis and Jan. You have meant so much to this community and to this school. And I want to thank you for that and for all you've done for it.
Miss James and Miss Barfield, one thing I want y'all to know is that I love you and I cherish all the memories we had together.
I hope for both Jan and Phyllis that their retirement is filled with a lot of relaxation, but it probably won't be because they both will be chasing grandbabies. But try not to miss us because you deserve complete relaxation and a lot of joy in retirement.